Hello again to everyone out there viewing today. Forgive a hardcore American pronunciation of this tournament's name. It's in Portuguese. This was a Brazilian tournament, largely, and this was Copa Rei Dos Coins. So credit to Terra the Gamer over on Twitch for, I believe, being the host and organizer of this, and that's where we were getting the stream footage from. And so you'll certainly see that some of the cards do have the Portuguese as their language, right? And so I do just want to say you're going to see it throughout. You probably already saw it maybe once, but the streamer, Terra the Gamer, also did opt to do this Pikachu, Detective Pikachu, and it says not today. And so that's like literally they were very diligent on trying to hide what the hand was that was being pulled, essentially, from our player perspective, which is Hana, H-A-N-A, and this one, they were registered on Limitless TCG as Gabriel Pais. Their opponent is up on the top half, of course, with that Voltorb in the active spot, CLS. It looks like, I know, we could just get it out of the way. It looks like Sis, CLS, and I believe that's for Carlos. That was the registered name on Limitless TCG, but anyway, you got Coughing there in the active spot for Hana down below, and so this, to me, creates a really interesting dynamic, right? Because all we've been seeing is like MEWTWO EX, Pikachu EX, those are the big two, right? And then sometimes you'll get maybe that Charizard EX deck or something for the big three, but usually it's just the big two or even the big one because you get a mirror matchup. So here we go. It's going to be Weezing right now, that awesome alt art card right here. And so Weezing right now, the great thing about it is the gas leak, right? That's your ability. I mean, obviously it'll tackle for 30, which is what they're going to do right here for Hana. They are going to take this Voltorb pretty far down. It's just that gas leak causing the poison, you know, it just gets kind of annoying from the other player's perspective, right? When you have to go up against this. Now, here's the thing. They did evolve to Electrode right now. Electrode, great card. I mean, you get to retreat at no cost, so that's really nice. But also with this evolution, they do negate that poison. So when you evolve your Pokemon, you could also switch it out. That will actually nullify and get rid of that poison effect. And so they did, of course, Sabrina right there. And so we'll see Hana get something different after, of course, our streamer friend. Thank you. Just can you... They did this seemingly also whenever there was a professor's research thrown out. They're just trying to avoid the stream snipes. I mean, you guys, I feel like there's got to be like a memo that goes out, you know, if you're going to host the tournaments, maybe put it on the delay or something, even like 5-minute delay. I don't know. You guys may know better than me what some ideas are, but hey, there goes the gas leak once again. And so it looks like Weezing going to get that tackle attack, and then boom, the poison will finish off that Electrode. So there it goes. CLS taking an L right there for one Pokemon. And so that one prize point's going to go to Hana. And now the Zapdos EX, amazing looking alt art card. It's now hitting that active spot for CLS. Does have the 3 energy, so that Thundering Hurricane, it could be devastating, but it's all on the coin toss. And then look at that, there's going to be a Giovanni applied, so you got to hope that there's not 0, right? And so we will see. They're going to go ahead and flip coins. They have 4 coins. Oh, the first one's a Tails the Fox. Tails... Did I just curse them? Oh, gosh. I really did not mean to say anything about that. The thing is, this has all happened in the past. So just for y'all's kind of behind the scenes look at what I do. So sometimes if I have to record these live like I did this one, like it was literally live, it's not a VOD, like we can't go back to this video, you know? So I had to sit here for, oh my gosh, I had the stream on for like 5 hours, 4 hours or something before we finally got to this match. And yeah, so unfortunately sometimes there's gonna be like ads when you do that and whatnot. But the other component is that I actually don't really watch this. So I set my OBS on record, and then I usually try to accomplish some other things and whatnot while this is recording, and I'll occasionally look up and see a move, but you know, this is all happening in real time for me too, so we're experiencing it together for the first time unless you saw the stream live. But hey, here we go. Looks like that Zapdos though does have the poison right now, and luckily they have the option to switch out. Could see Electrode possibly later. The thing is, if they lose the Zapdos, obviously they lose the match over there for CLS's side, and so here we go. It's going to be 2 heads and 2 tails. So it does look like that Zapdos will at least get some damage off, kind of a lot of damage right there, because you got to think it's going to be 50 times the heads, so pretty devastating. And so right now they are going to play Koga right there for Hana's side. Just absolutely brutal when you're going up against that, and that was like really one of the best times to play it, right? Because you got the most out of that Weezing. It was crazy that Weezing was on 10 HP and did so much here in this matchup already. And so look at this, Wigglytuff EX now going to come in and be your pinch hitter. Wigglytuff Wigglytuff pretty amazing with that 80 damage, but also the opponent will be asleep unless that happens. Now, of course, it did have the poison as well, so it doesn't even matter because, ladies and gentlemen, Hana gonna take those 2 prize packs and boom, get that first victory here in Copa Rei Dos Coins. This tournament, well done, Hana, Gabriel. So that'll be game number 1. It is a best of 3 right here in the semifinals. If I didn't say that before, this is the semifinals to see who is gonna advance to that finals match. And so I try to always edit out the fluff right here and then cut to, of course, where the match starts. So let's get this game 2 underway. It's gonna be Ekans in that first spot. But yeah, I mean, the obvious thing, right, is that we're finally looking at something different. You know, Hana really is bringing us the most just kind of look at something else. It's like finally, again, not the MEWTWOs, but even with CLS up above, yes, we do have the Pika EX ×2 in that deck, but aside from the Zapdos EX, you saw that there was the Electrode, and so at least there's kind of that variability in that. Like, some people don't even have the Electrode. Now, I have seen some, just because Electrode it's a good Pokemon simply for the retreat cost. It's just, obviously, we see the Pika EX a lot of the times with, sometimes normal Zapdos, but usually Raichu, right? And then you have the Zapdos EX ×2, Pikachu EX ×2, so that's all kind of still standard issue for that Pikachu EX deck. But look at this, I mean, Ekans, it's really nice because Arbok, it's going to have corner, and so your opponent's Pokemon wouldn't be able to retreat if you get that going, so cool mechanic. And of course, don't we love to see the little Jigglypuff promo in here? Now that we have the new promo drops and whatnot, we of course can look forward to those, just because at least sometimes they'll have like a new card. A lot of the times the promos do match an existing card already based on their moves and their HP and all that stuff, but sometimes you might get a different one. You think back to the previous promo, especially like Lapras EX. And so if you noticed anything change or whatever, there was an ad playing on the original stream. Now, whenever I do these episodes for you guys, I do kind of edit in my own like backgrounds and layouts and things. We only keep a small portion, which is basically what's in the middle, you know, what's housing the phone screen. So any borders on that and whatnot, that was probably from the original stream, but wow, look at that. So Pikachu EX gonna come in hot for CLS and get that 1 point right here, just quickly making mincemeat of Hana. And so they are gonna send in this devastating Weezing from last time. Even if Weezing is not attacking, at least it's poisoning, right? And so dude put up the little shield to see the hand, but we saw it get drawn. It was that Wigglytuff EX, and here it goes. It's gonna be put down in action on that bench. And so right about now, looks like Hana will go ahead, put the gas on in, poison him up, and get that tackle going right here. So that's going to be 30 damage, of course, and 10 from the poison. So it's essentially a 40 damage turn usually, but then you're going to obviously bleed out that poison. So 10 every time for everybody's turn. And so now we got Electrode going to be hitting the bench there for CLS. Really now kind of the momentum is stacked with CLS, I'd say, just because when you look at not only just the layout of the playmat right here, what's on the bench, what's in the active, but you just see what's happened so far, right? I mean, this Pikachu EX is pretty devastating. You got to hope that there's that slow poisoning, you know, that's going to be like a slow burn and whatnot. And so they do have Koga. Hana always prepared, right? When you're about to lose that Weezing, throw in that Koga, brings it back to your hand, and then you can just, of course, replay the coughing. You get the Weezing back, and so look at that, they already had another coughing in that active spot. And so this is it's a pretty nice turn of events if you are Hana. That's just it's like the super trolling kind of deck, you know, almost. So they are gonna throw the Weezing on back in here. It's essentially a full resurrection for it. So anyway, there will obviously be poison damage right there, and so CLS can now go and make something of this turn. Hopefully they are gonna Professor's Research right now. Obviously they would desire to get that KO on the Wigglytuff EX, because then, hey, you don't even have to worry about defeating another Pokemon, because boom, that would get you 2 prize packs for that EX. But no, likely they're going to be still contending with Hana's Weezing, which is absolutely annoying for them, I'm sure. But CLS going to throw down the poison and then go ahead with that Circle Circuit. So Pikachu doing some massive damage right here for that 90, of course, with that full bench. And that brings the Weezing down to 20, and I presume that there's another Koga. So there is. So right here as we go. So yeah, they're gonna just trade it out for that coughing once more. So my friends, Weezing's back. Guess who's back? Back again. Weezing's back. So yeah, Weezing in that active spot is obviously, you're not going to have to deal with that again if you're CLS, and you can maybe get the KO on this thing, but the retreat cost is 3, so that does make it a lot harder to try to take it out without a Koga, right? Because you'd have to at least have 2x speed right now and put the energy down, but Hana's deck only has 1x speed in it, so there wouldn't actually be any 2x speed. And so right now, CLS with that potion coming right up, you think like, man, this Koga, that's difficult to deal with in this poison, but CLS has absolutely been keeping it at bay, man. So props to CLS for this one, because definitely making a trolling kind of deck like this not feel so bad, eh? So they're doing wonderful. Looks like there is going to be another Weezing down on the bench, though. And so right now it looks like Hana, yeah, they are going to go ahead and place that energy down. I was wondering if they were going to try to power something else up. The thing is, you don't have to, because when you look at the bench, right, the Wigglytuff EX has 2 energy on it, and so the next time that it can play, if it's not thrown in with a Sabrina, then you'll be able to place the energy on it, right, on your turn, just naturally from the turn's order. Now, the same would go for that other Weezing. It only takes 1 energy to actually throw off that tackle attack, and so it does look like CLS, they're gonna eliminate one of the Weezing finally out of here, and so Weezing number 2 goes in right here. I mean, really, is it Weezing like number 4 because of how many have gone through the Koga? But hey, let's see what happens here. So they're going to drop down the energy, and it's looking good for CLS. I mean, all they need is 1 more KO, but you notice, of course, this Pikachu's probably going to drop out. They're just going to be able to do 1 tackle, take it down with that. There will be somebody that's the aggressor after that, right? The Zapdos, the other Pikachu, and they can do 60 damage right now. Now, if they have some other electric Pokemon, they may have another Voltorb, for instance, that's left. I don't think they might have also had a Zapdos EX as well, so there could be either or. They will opt for Electrode right in there. Now, with the free retreat cost, it's kind of good, right? Because if they didn't draw a new Pokemon, then they could retreat it back. It's a nice buffer. And so now it looks like the buffer might have been for that Zapdos. And so, yeah, there is a Zapdos EX to finally get that full bench again. I don't know why I say finally. It was just recently full. But hey, Zapdos EX, the alt art, they're actually going to send that in for the Thundering Hurricane. So I was wondering if they were going to do the Circle Circuit with Pikachu. No, they're going to try for the Zapdos. And if they can get the coins, then really they need 3 heads, right? And so they get 2 of those heads. So that is going to leave this much closer for CLS. But I don't know. I mean, does Hana really stand that chance? Look at that Weezing at 10. They will be able to poison this thing. It's just what for, right? Zapdos would have to essentially throw all tails again. We'd have to see a Tails the Fox all around. Simply because a red card is played, but I was going to say simply because, like, Weezing, it has to buy some time. Now, you see 1 of those X speed, it does go down. They are going to throw out the gas, get that poison going, and then I guess put an energy on it and retreat. It's just that the problem is you're going to need another energy, and then Wigglytuff is not going to have the energy for attacking, so that's not as good. The Sleepy Song cannot be used right here. So a little bit unfortunate. Now, it does keep Hana in the game just a little bit longer, unless this Zapdos decides, I'm just going to get 3 heads now. Do that 150 and take it on out of there, and that would be the end for Hana in this game too. But it would not be the end for us, you guys. We'd get to see a game 3, and so just for the interesting moments and the thrill of the game, I would like to see maybe a game 3, eh? So let's see what happens right here. It looks like they are going to opt for that Thundering Hurricane, and so it's all about the coins. Can they get 3 heads? Let's see it go down. So there's 1, and then we got a Tails, and then heads, and heads. There's going to be 3, so that is going to take us to a game 3. I cannot believe it. Hana is knocked out of there. Gabriel Pais with this interesting deck is now going to show up a little bit more, right? Well done by CLS, winning that game 2. And my friends, put your predictions now if you would like to comment before the video's over. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna take that game 3? Just incredible. And so whoever wins this match is going to take the whole semifinals and advance on through. So let's see it. It's gonna be Pikachu EX going up against Jigglypuff, that new promo Jiggly over there with Sing in the active spot for Hana. They will play the Pokeball. Sorry again that the streamer keeps throwing down the Detective Pikachu, man. Not today. And so it's gonna be Coughing and it's gonna be Ekans. If they're gonna put him on the bench bench anyway. Do we need to hide it? Okay, never mind. Sorry. That's not for me to complain here, right? I just need to cast this thing legit, right? And so that's going to be Voltorb hitting the bench for CLS right now, and very good. Obviously, you're going to need as much as possible to fill that bench as fast as possible. And so right now, Jigglypuff able to sing if they would like. They considering the red card here for Hana, but will not play that again. Sometimes you don't play that. Now, when it's early on, that's fine, you know, or if you can somehow deduce maybe, you know, that like a certain card is somewhere. It's just when you get into the later stages of the matches, sometimes people opt not to do the red card, right? Because it's like, let's say that they were looking for their last Pikachu EX, or on the other side, let's say that they were looking for that last like Weezing or Koga card or something. You might actually inadvertently kind of give it to them if you red card, right? And so you have to think like, wait, they would have played the Koga by now, wouldn't they? You know, you have to think about those things. Sometimes you're gambling a little, but it does look like the sleep happened, and then of course the awakening happens. So CLS not even gonna feel the effects of the sleep for very long, because of course they get to throw the coin and see if it lands on heads right before their turn starts. And so it's gonna be Electrode hitting the bench right now with another Voltorb, of course. And so there we go. Just as I was saying about the red card, it does look like that actually does get played here on CLS's side. And again, it's a little bit earlier in the match, isn't it? And so CLS gonna take that first point right here with the Circle Circuit, doing that 60 right now. Of course, when it's a full bench, you're gonna get the 90 out of it. But right here we got Coughing in the active spot, able to do the Suffocating Gas for 20, just 1 energy, a nice 70 HP on that Pokemon, so it's pretty nice. And so look at that, you're trying to cover up the cards, man. Terra the Gamer, come on, man. He's trying to cover it, and then we even see the Jigglypuff anyway, and then it goes into the bench spot. But hey, it looks like Weezing gonna be here. That awesome alt art once again, you guys. And so they will, of course, poison that Pikachu EX. You gotta start that as soon as possible, right? That Pika, 120 HP. Devastating. And so they will, of course, start charging up the Jiggly, because you're probably looking for that Wiggly EX. And so Wigglytuff EX throwing that sleepy song around could be nice when you got a Pikachu, but also, hey, maybe a Zapdos with a Thundering Hurricane, something like that. But all right, they are going to Circle Circuit now that that Zapdos is on the bench, the EX. And so that will be a devastating 90 damage right here. It's looking good for CLS. Don't count Hana out. Of course, there may be a Koga right here. Who could have guessed, right? So Koga is coming, and it looks like Coughing is going. So right here, Coughing will go into that active spot. They're going to be able to place a Coughing on the bench if they want to. Looks like they pulled back for just a second, but no, we do have that. And we have that Wigglytuff EX. It is here, my friends, and they will not actually use the Weezing. So potentially looking to just save that, you know, hang on to that and say like, we don't want to lose the Weezing particularly. You know, there's a few reasons they may do that. They may just pull that out on the next turn, stuff like that. And so, looks like that potion is going to go down for CLS. Wonderfully timed potions again, just like that last match, you guys. And Giovanni up in here, they really want to get this done, but they didn't need the Giovanni for that, right? So, they did just kind of use that Giovanni kind of for, you could say, no reason, kind of a wasted Giovanni. But yeah, it would have been nice, right, to have it for this, but I guess it's not necessary for this either. It would have been nice for some other niche use here. It may not have come into play, but hey, there's going to be the Weezing now on this turn. And so they put Wigglytuff in, so Wigglytuff EX can do Sleepy Song for 80, and it's also going to put the, of course, opponent to sleep. And so they will go to sleep, take that poison damage, see if they wake up right here. Of course, Hana hoping for that tail, so let's see if they stay asleep, but no, that is the heads, so they will get a devastating 90 damage in on this next one, unless they decide to retreat, which they could to save it from the poison defeat, right? So it depends on how CLS is thinking. Do they have something else up their sleeve? Well, I guess they do, so they are going to still damage, but then take that 10 from the poison, and that leaves, of course, Hana with 2 prize packs, so you got to consider, were the 2 prize points, was that worth it? Because now you kind of have to hope that Zapdos is going to land on the, I guess you need 1 heads at least. So, I mean, hey, you like those odds typically if you are CLS, but Hana does have the chance to keep it asleep. If there's a Sabrina in play, maybe do that, but of course there is Electrode, so I guess that kind of negates that. So, no, you really just have to Sleepy Song. Sorry, you guys, I'm talking in real time here about all the different options as we now see it take place, and that is tail, so that is just Absolutely devastating if you're CLS. That is just what CLS did not want right here, you guys. That is not what CLS wanted, because then imagine if they had that Electrode with just even one more energy right now. They could have retreated and thrown Electrode in or something, but no, there's not going to be any combination of things right now that can actually get this thing to faint, the Wigglytuff. So look at that. That might have been it. That might have actually been the move. So I don't know, man. CLS probably, I don't know about letting that Pikachu fall, you guys. You guys got to discuss that in the comments. You always do when you notice a point where someone threw or a point where someone made a mistake that cost the game, etc., because look at that. Hana gonna be your victory here in Game 3. Puts that Zapdos to sleep, and then it faints, of course. So look at this. Hana getting the 2 points. Doesn't matter because it just needed 1. Boom! Gonna win for that Game 3 Wigglytuff EX, and Hana's moving on to the finals. And so you guys, I actually don't want to show the standings, which is usually what we do, because this is going to be essentially a 2-part series where we are going to see Hana go up against the other finalist. I hope you guys are ready for that one. I will be back with that. And so, of course, please click an end screen on screen to see another episode. And thanks for viewing.